There are some battles women fight completely in silence, not on a battlefield, not in an argument, not in a place anyone can see. These battles happen in bedrooms, in bathroom mirrors, in the quiet moments before the rest of the world wakes up. The kind of battles hidden behind fake smiles, heavy makeup, oversized clothing worn to hide what is happening underneath, and quiet tears late at night when no one else is watching. For millions of women around the world, menopause becomes one of those silent battles, and it often begins without warning. One day everything feels normal. The next day, something feels different. The body you have lived in your entire life begins to feel like a stranger. The clothes become tighter, the belly becomes softer, the face begins to look different, the energy disappears, the weight keeps increasing. No matter how many diets are tried, no matter how many walks are taken, no matter how little food is eaten, the scale keeps going up, and slowly, the frustration turns into self-blame. Why can't I control this? Why is my body failing me? What is wrong with me? But here is the truth that many women are never told. There is nothing wrong with you. Your body is not failing you. Your body is going through one of the most powerful hormonal shifts in a woman's life, and that shift changes everything: hormones, metabolism, stress levels, sleep, fat storage, mood, and your relationship with your own body. Today, we are going to talk about exactly why menopause causes rapid weight gain, not in confusing medical language, but in real, honest, simple words. Because every woman going through this deserves to understand what is truly happening inside her body. Before we talk about weight gain, let us first understand exactly what menopause is. Because most people have heard the word, but many do not fully understand what it actually means for a woman's body. Menopause is not a disease, it is not a disorder, it is a natural biological stage of life. It typically begins between the ages of 45 and 55, although for some women it can begin earlier. Menopause officially happens when a woman has gone 12 consecutive months without a menstrual period. But the changes, the physical and emotional changes, often begin years before that. This earlier phase is called perimenopause, and this is where many women first begin to notice something feels different. During perimenopause, the ovaries slowly begin producing less and less of two key hormones, estrogen and progesterone. These two hormones are not just about reproduction, they are involved in regulating almost everything in a woman's body: mood, sleep, energy, appetite, temperature, fat storage, bone density, and even how clearly the brain thinks. So when estrogen and progesterone begin dropping, the effects are felt everywhere. Not just in one place, not just in reproduction, everywhere. And weight gain is one of the most common and most distressing effects women experience during this time. Before we get into the science, we need to talk about something that the science alone cannot fully capture: the emotional weight of menopause, because menopause does not only affect the body, it affects identity. And identity is something very personal. Many women spend their 20s and 30s building themselves, building their confidence, building their career, building their family, building the life they imagined. And then, somewhere in their 40s or 50s, the body begins to change in ways that feel deeply unfamiliar. The woman who once felt energetic suddenly feels exhausted by noon. The woman who once felt confident in her skin suddenly avoids mirrors. The woman who used to love shopping for clothes now dreads trying things on. Some women stop taking pictures, not because they are vain, but because the reflection no longer matches how they feel on the inside. Some women avoid social gatherings. They make excuses. They cancel plans. Because getting dressed has become painful. Because sitting in a room full of people while feeling invisible in your own body is exhausting. Some women silently cry while getting dressed in the morning, not because they are weak, but because watching your body change so rapidly, without fully understanding why, is genuinely painful. There is grief in this, real grief, and that grief is valid, because menopause often happens at a stage of life when a woman is already carrying so much. Raising children, caring for aging parents, navigating a career, managing a household, carrying the emotional weight of an entire family, and now her own body has added a new burden. When rapid weight gain begins happening on top of all of that, the emotional pain becomes even heavier, and the cruel part is, most women suffer in silence because they do not want to complain, because they have always been the strong one, because they do not want to be told it is just aging. But it is not just aging, and it is not their fault. Now let us talk about the biggest hormonal reason why menopause causes rapid weight gain: estrogen. Estrogen is one of the most powerful hormones in the female body, and its role goes far beyond reproduction. Estrogen helps regulate metabolism, how quickly the body burns calories, appetite, how hungry you feel, energy, how much physical drive you have, mood, how emotionally stable you feel, and fat distribution, where your body stores fat. That last one is very important. Before menopause, a woman's body tends to store extra fat around the hips, thighs, and buttocks. This is called peripheral fat storage. And while many women disliked that distribution, it is actually the body's preferred and safer storage location for fat. But when estrogen levels begin dropping during perimenopause and menopause, something shifts. The body can no longer maintain its preferred fat storage pattern, and it begins moving fat toward a new location: the abdomen, the belly, the stomach. This is called central or visceral fat, and it is one of the most common complaints women have during menopause. I never had a belly before. My stomach just appeared out of nowhere. I haven't changed how I eat, but my waist is growing. This is why. The body is not malfunctioning. It is responding to a massive hormonal change: lower estrogen, such as more belly fat storage. And because estrogen also plays a role in metabolism, when estrogen drops, metabolism slows down too. This means the body burns fewer calories naturally, even at rest. Even without eating more, even without exercising less, the body's calorie-burning engine has simply slowed down. And this creates a painful situation many women know well: eating the same foods they have always eaten, doing the same activities they have always done, and still gaining weight. It feels like the rules changed overnight, because for the body, they did. Estrogen is not the only hormone dropping during menopause. Progesterone drops too, and progesterone has a very specific job in the body. It acts as a natural diuretic. A diuretic helps the body release excess water. So when progesterone levels drop, the body begins holding on to more water than before. This leads to bloating, swelling in the hands, face, and ankles, a feeling of puffiness that was not there before. Clothes feeling tighter even when weight on the scale has not changed dramatically. Many women experience this early in perimenopause, and it can be deeply frustrating because it is invisible to others. You look in the mirror and feel swollen, but someone else looks at you and sees nothing. The bloating is real, the discomfort is real, the puffiness is real, and it is caused directly by the drop in progesterone. Additionally, low progesterone is connected to increased anxiety, disturbed sleep, and mood swings, all of which also contribute to weight gain in their own ways, which we will talk about shortly. Now let us talk about the biggest hormonal reason why menopause causes rapid weight gain: estrogen. Estrogen is one of the most powerful hormones in the female body, and its role goes far beyond reproduction. Estrogen helps regulate metabolism, how quickly the body burns calories, appetite, how hungry you feel, energy, how much physical drive you have, mood, how emotionally stable you feel, and fat distribution, where your body stores fat. That last one is very important. Before menopause, a woman's body tends to store extra fat around the hips, thighs, and buttocks. This is called peripheral fat storage. And while many women disliked that distribution, it is actually the body's preferred and safer storage location for fat. But when estrogen levels begin dropping during perimenopause and menopause, something shifts. The body can no longer maintain its preferred fat storage pattern, and it begins moving fat toward a new location: the abdomen, the belly, the stomach. This is called central or visceral fat, and it is one of the most common complaints women have during menopause. I never had a belly before. My stomach just appeared out of nowhere. I haven't changed how I eat, but my waist is growing. This is why. The body is not malfunctioning. It is responding to a massive hormonal change: lower estrogen, such as more belly fat storage. And because estrogen also plays a role in metabolism, when estrogen drops, metabolism slows down too. This means the body burns fewer calories naturally, even at rest. Even without eating more, even without exercising less, the body's calorie-burning engine has simply slowed down. And this creates a painful situation many women know well: eating the same foods they have always eaten, doing the same activities they have always done, and still gaining weight. It feels like the rules changed overnight, because for the body, they did. Estrogen is not the only hormone dropping during menopause. Progesterone drops too, and progesterone has a very specific job in the body. It acts as a natural diuretic. A diuretic helps the body release excess water. So when progesterone levels drop, the body begins holding on to more water than before. This leads to bloating, swelling in the hands, face, and ankles, a feeling of puffiness that was not there before. Clothes feeling tighter even when weight on the scale has not changed dramatically. Many women experience this early in perimenopause, and it can be deeply frustrating because it is invisible to others. You look in the mirror and feel swollen, but someone else looks at you and sees nothing. The bloating is real, the discomfort is real, the puffiness is real, and it is caused directly by the drop in progesterone. Additionally, low progesterone is connected to increased anxiety, disturbed sleep, and mood swings, all of which also contribute to weight gain in their own ways, which we will talk about shortly. Here is something most people do not connect to menopause weight gain: stress hormones, specifically cortisol. Menopause places enormous physiological stress on the body. Night sweats disrupt sleep. Hot flashes cause discomfort during the day. Mood swings create emotional exhaustion. Anxiety increases. Brain fog makes thinking harder. All of these things elevate cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone. Cortisol is not inherently bad. It was designed to protect us in moments of danger. When our ancestors encountered a predator, cortisol surged, giving the body a burst of energy to fight or run. The problem is, the body cannot tell the difference between a physical threat and a hormonal crisis. It just knows it is under stress. And when cortisol stays elevated for days, weeks, and months, the body does something very specific. It stores fat, especially around the abdomen. Because in survival mode, the body wants energy reserves close to vital organs. So cortisol directly causes and worsens belly fat. But that is not all. High cortisol also increases cravings, especially for sugar and carbohydrates, decreases the feeling of fullness after eating, disrupts sleep even further, and makes emotional eating harder to resist. So the stress of menopause raises cortisol. Cortisol increases belly fat storage. Cortisol increases cravings. Cravings lead to emotional eating. Emotional eating adds more weight. More weight increases stress. More stress raises cortisol again. It is a cycle, a painful, invisible cycle that millions of women are trapped inside. And the frustrating thing is, people on the outside often cannot see it. They just see the weight. They do not see the storm underneath. Imagine spending most of your life being the strong one, the one who holds everything together, the one who never asks for help, the one who always shows up, no matter what. You raised children, you cared for your parents, you managed your home, you built your career, you showed up for everyone who needed you, and you did all of that while quietly carrying your own pain. Because that is what strong women do. They carry, they endure, they push through, and then one day, your body begins to change. Not slowly, not gently, but dramatically. Your sleep disappears, your energy vanishes, your moods swing without warning, your belly grows despite everything you do to stop it. And instead of receiving compassion, many women receive criticism. From family, from friends, even from doctors. Just eat less. Just exercise more. You need more willpower. This is just aging. Everyone goes through it. But they are not seeing what is actually happening. They are not seeing the hormonal storm raging inside. They are not seeing the nights without sleep, the anxiety that appears from nowhere, the grief of watching your body change in ways you cannot control, the loneliness of suffering in silence because no one truly understands. What menopause does to a woman's body is profound, and the women going through it deserve to be seen. They deserve to be understood, not dismissed. But when sleep is disrupted or insufficient, ghrelin surges upward and leptin drops downward. The brain begins screaming for food, especially high-calorie food, especially sugar, especially carbohydrates, especially late at night. This is not weakness. This is biology. A sleep-deprived brain will always push the body toward high-calorie foods because the brain is trying to find energy since sleep did not restore it. So menopause disrupts sleep. Disrupted sleep spikes ghrelin and drops leptin. This causes intense cravings. Those cravings lead to eating more. Eating more, especially late at night, causes rapid fat storage. And the next morning, the woman wakes up exhausted, frustrated, and confused about why the weight is not coming off. The connection between sleep and weight during menopause is not talked about enough, but it is one of the most powerful factors happening behind the scenes. Here's another hidden reason menopause causes rapid weight gain: muscle loss. As the body ages, and especially during the hormonal changes of menopause, muscle mass naturally begins to decrease. This process is called sarcopenia, and it happens quietly, without visible signs, without pain, without obvious symptoms. But internally, the body is slowly losing the muscle it once had. And this matters enormously for weight because muscle is metabolically active. What does that mean? It means muscle tissue burns calories even when you are not exercising. Even while you are sitting, even while you are sleeping, your muscles are quietly burning calories just to maintain themselves. The more muscle you have, the more calories your body burns naturally every day. But as muscle decreases during menopause, the number of calories the body burns naturally decreases too. This is called your basal metabolic rate, and it drops. So the foods that once never caused weight gain now begin adding fat more easily. The portions that were once perfectly fine now seem too large. The body that once bounced back quickly after indulging now holds on to every calorie more tightly. And again, women often blame themselves. I have no self-control. I am lazy. Something must be wrong with me. But the truth is, the body has changed, the metabolism has changed, the rules have changed, and the approach to eating and movement needs to change with them, not as punishment, but as understanding, as adaptation, as care. There is one more powerful piece of the menopause weight gain puzzle that most people never discuss: insulin resistance. Insulin is a hormone produced by the pancreas. Its job is to take sugar from the blood and move it into cells where it can be used as energy. When insulin works properly, blood sugar stays balanced, energy stays stable, and fat storage stays under control. But during menopause, when estrogen levels drop dramatically, the body's cells begin to respond less effectively to insulin. This is called insulin resistance. It means the pancreas has to produce more and more insulin to do the same job. And high insulin levels have a direct effect on fat storage. High insulin tells the body, store fat, do not burn it. Blood sugar spikes and crashes become more dramatic. Energy levels become unpredictable. The familiar 2 p.m. energy crash becomes a daily occurrence. And cravings, especially for sugar and starchy foods, become intense and hard to ignore. Many women during menopause notice that even healthy meals leave them feeling tired, bloated, or craving something sweet within an hour. This is often insulin resistance at work, and it is directly connected to the hormonal changes of menopause. The good news is that insulin resistance can be addressed with the right foods, the right movement, the right sleep, and in some cases, professional medical support. But first, women need to know it exists, and many simply do not. We cannot talk about menopause weight gain without talking about mental health, because the two are deeply connected. Estrogen does not only affect fat storage and metabolism, estrogen also plays a powerful role in brain chemistry. Specifically, estrogen supports the production of serotonin, the brain's feel-good chemical. When estrogen drops during menopause, serotonin drops too, and when serotonin drops, mood suffers. Many women begin experiencing during menopause sadness that comes from nowhere, anxiety that did not exist before, irritability that surprises even themselves, emotional numbness, low self-worth, and a quiet, persistent feeling of hopelessness. And when emotions become overwhelming and consistent, food often becomes comfort, not because these women are undisciplined, not because they have weak character, but because the brain, depleted of serotonin, instinctively seeks other ways to feel better. And sugar, carbohydrates, and comfort foods temporarily spike dopamine, another feel-good brain chemical. So the brain learns, when I eat those foods, I feel better, even briefly, even temporarily. This is emotional eating, and it is driven by chemistry, not character. It is not a moral failure. It is the brain doing its best to cope with a chemical deficit. And this is why menopause weight gain is never simply about eating too much. It is about hormones, brain chemistry, sleep, stress, muscle loss, insulin resistance, and emotional survival. It is one of the most complex weight management challenges a woman will ever face, and she is often facing it while simultaneously being told to just eat less. There is one more factor that often goes undiagnosed during menopause: thyroid changes. The thyroid is a small gland in the neck, but its influence on the body is enormous. The thyroid controls the speed of your metabolism. It determines how quickly or slowly the body burns energy. And here is what many women do not know: menopause can affect thyroid function. Hormonal fluctuations during this time can trigger or worsen hypothyroidism, an underactive thyroid. An underactive thyroid slows metabolism even further. It also causes unexplained weight gain, fatigue even after sleeping, hair thinning and loss, feeling cold all the time, brain fog, depression, and dry skin. Many of these symptoms overlap with menopause symptoms, which is why thyroid problems during menopause are often missed. Women are told, this is just menopause, this is just aging, when in fact, the thyroid may also need attention. This is why medical testing during menopause is so important. Not just hormone levels, but thyroid function too. Because if the thyroid is underactive and untreated, no amount of dieting or exercise will produce the results a woman is working toward. Here is something that needs to be said clearly. Most traditional dieting advice is not designed for a menopausal body, and following it can actually make things worse. When a menopausal woman severely restricts calories, the body, already in hormonal stress, does not respond the way it once did. Instead of burning fat, the body goes into deeper survival mode. It slows metabolism further. It holds onto every calorie more tightly. It begins breaking down muscle for energy instead of fat, which means less muscle, lower metabolism, more fat storage, a cycle that feels impossible to escape. Crash diets during menopause often cause increased fatigue, hair loss, nutrient deficiencies, worsened mood and anxiety, and ultimately more weight gain once normal eating resumes. The body during menopause does not need punishment. It does not need starvation. It does not need aggressive restriction. It needs nourishment, strategic, intentional, compassionate nourishment. It needs protein to protect muscle mass. It needs healthy fats to support hormone production. It needs complex carbohydrates to stabilize blood sugar. It needs micronutrients to support overall hormonal health. And most importantly, it needs consistency over perfection, because a sustainable approach, even if slower, will always outperform a crash diet that fails within weeks. Now let us talk about what actually helps, because menopause weight gain is not hopeless. The body is changing, but change is not the same as failure. And once a woman understands what her body is actually going through, she can begin working with it instead of fighting against it. Here are the approaches that truly support a menopausal body. Number 1, strength training. Not extreme exercise, not hours at the gym, just consistent, moderate strength training 2 to 3 times per week. Strength training rebuilds and preserves muscle mass, and more muscle means a higher metabolism. It means the body burns more calories even at rest, and it supports bone density too, which also decreases during menopause. Number 2, prioritize protein. Protein is the building block of muscle. During menopause, the body needs more protein than it once did to maintain muscle mass. Including good sources of protein in every meal, eggs, fish, legumes, chicken, Greek yogurt, supports muscle preservation and helps with satiety, meaning you feel fuller for longer. Number 3, improve sleep at all costs. Sleep is not optional during menopause. It is not a luxury. Poor sleep drives weight gain through hunger hormones, cortisol, and emotional eating. Improving sleep through bedtime routines, cooler sleeping environments, managing night sweats, and in some cases, medical support, is one of the most powerful things a woman can do for her weight and her well-being. Number 4, manage stress intentionally. Cortisol is one of the biggest drivers of belly fat during menopause. Finding consistent ways to lower cortisol helps directly. This could be daily walks in nature, deep breathing practices, journaling, reducing overscheduling, saying no to things that drain energy, or simply sitting in quiet for 10 minutes a day. Small, consistent stress reduction has a measurable impact on cortisol and on belly fat. Number 5, stabilize blood sugar. Avoiding large spikes in blood sugar helps reduce insulin resistance. This means eating regular meals rather than skipping, choosing whole foods over processed ones where possible, including fiber and protein with every meal, and reducing refined sugar and ultra-processed carbohydrates. Small, sustainable changes, not perfection. Number 6, consider speaking to a doctor about hormonal health. Hormone replacement therapy, or HRT, is a conversation worth having with a qualified healthcare provider. For some women, it can significantly reduce the hormonal symptoms of menopause, including weight gain, sleep disruption, and mood changes. It is not right for everyone, but it deserves to be a part of the conversation. And above all, compassion. The woman going through menopause is not failing, she is adapting. Her body is not her enemy. Her body is changing, and understanding that change is the beginning of healing. Menopause is not the end of femininity. It is not the end of beauty. It is not the end of strength. It is not the end of your health journey. It is a transition, one of the most significant biological transitions a woman's body will ever make. And yes, it is hard, it is confusing, it can be lonely, it can be painful. But it is not something you have to face in silence, and it is not something you have to face with shame. Your body is not punishing you. Your body is not failing you. Your body is changing, and it is asking for something it has always deserved: understanding, patience, care. Behind the exhaustion, behind the frustration, behind the changing reflection in the mirror, there is still you. Still strong, still valuable, still worthy. And healing begins the moment a woman stops blaming herself and starts truly listening to what her body needs. You are not alone in this. Millions of women are walking this path, and every single one of them deserves to be seen, to be heard, to be understood. Comment healing if this video spoke to you. Subscribe for more women's hormone health videos. Like this video to help more women feel understood. Share this with a woman who may be suffering in silence. Your body is not your enemy. It is asking for understanding.